Hi, I'm Adriana Ruggiero, and this is my case study presentation on my student Avery, which I had worked on during the past 8 to 9 weeks of our case study. The objective of this case study was to work with a student that displayed reading and writing difficulties. This case study will be used to demonstrate my knowledge in literacy assessment and interventions, as well as being able to analyze the causes of literacy strengths and the needs of all types of learners. For this case study, I chose to work with Avery. Avery is an 8-year-old girl who is in my second grade class. She is currently receiving services from me in an EIP or early intervention program classroom setting, as well as interventions on Tier 3 for the RTI process, which is response to intervention. Avery has had difficulties with reading since she started school in kindergarten. She's been through the tier process since kindergarten, which has now led her to being on Tier 3. I chose to work with Avery since she is a struggling reader, and this will allow me extra one-on-one time with her. We do have a one-on-one time in the classroom with interventions. However, I thought this would be a great way to double dip for her, as I would say, and get that extra one-on-one time since she was so behind in her reading. In the following slide, I will present my pre-assessment findings. Avery was given pre-assessments or assessments in the following areas: phonemic awareness, phonics, vocabulary, fluency, comprehension, and writing skills. Each assessment was chosen based on her needs in the classroom and what she was familiar with. For example, when we worked with our comprehension assessment, I had given her a DRA, which is a developmental reading assessment. This is an assessment she has seen since kindergarten, and I knew she would be familiar with certain questionings and wouldn't feel pressured for this assessment. These are tables of the scores which I had obtained from her assessments. As you can see, she has some highs and lows in these areas. For example, phonemic awareness, vocabulary, and comprehension are a high for her. What I mean is, for her phonemic awareness, I had given her a phonemic awareness pre-assessment, which showed that she was able to correctly complete the tasks of distinguishing initial sounds, rhyme and rhyme, distinguishing oddity, blending, onset rhyme, blending letter sounds, segmenting sounds and words, and deleting initial sounds of words. She was able to manipulate a lot of different sounds based on her previous knowledge. Her vocabulary is a huge strength for someone who actually struggles in reading. She has a very high vocabulary. I used the core vocabulary screening for this, and she actually, not only does she speak with a high vocabulary, she's also able to write it. And sometimes I forget, due to her vocabulary, that she's actually an 8-year-old child. Again, with her comprehension, I used the DRA, and she was found to be an independent G. Unfortunately, that is a mid-first grade reading level, and everything with her phonics and fluency, which we're about to talk about, kind of attribute to her having a lower comprehension level. I gave her a phonics mastery survey, which showed that she was able to correctly complete different consonant sounds, rhyming words, and CVC words. However, she really struggled with long vowel sounds, especially with diphthongs, and being able to correctly decode these sounds. Due to her decoding discrepancies, her fluency, which I used a fluency reading passage, showed that she only had an 84% accuracy on her independent reading level. These two things go hand in hand of why she has such a low reading level. Her comprehension, though, is very well for her decoding and fluency due to her very strong memory. Her writing skills show that she's able to generate ideas to create a piece of writing and share her ideas when we have a one-on-one conversation. However, she struggles with putting all of her thoughts on paper with regard to plot. She struggles with giving a clear beginning, middle, and end while writing. Just like I had spoken before, she shows great mastery in phonemic awareness, vocabulary, and comprehension. It shows that her areas of weakness are in phonics and fluency, as well as organizing plot. And due to the struggle with phonics, as I stated before, that leads to her poor fluency because she's constantly having to stop to decode the words she does not know. I have 3 goals set for Avery during our time together. Her first literacy goal was for fluency, and that Avery would be able to read at her independent reading level fluently with a 95% accuracy rate. Her second literacy goal would be with phonics with regard to decoding. Avery will decode words using previous strategies learned, as well as new decoding strategies that relate to the weak phonic areas. These would be decoding strategies that she had learned in previous grades, as well as a new strategy I'll be putting in place for her, which we'll be talking about in the following slides. Her third literacy goal would be in writing. Avery will write a passage with a clear beginning, middle, and end, as well as using correct ending of punctuation and capitalization. I decided to use that as well in her goal because as a second grade student, she should be able to correctly capitalize beginning of sentences as well as proper nouns, and use correct ending punctuation, whether it be a period, question mark, or exclamation mark. Strategies I've used during the time with Avery to meet these goals were repeated reading, blending wheels, and graphic organizers used during pre-writing stage of the writing process. Repeated reading is a strategy that has a student read the same passage over and over again to gain accuracy of words, gain expression, and correct miscues of words. In this case, I would have Avery reading a small passage or a small book at least 4 times through, and each time she read, she would highlight a word that she either stumbled upon or had to take some time to decode. Joseph, Nodelmeyer, and Watson also say that improvements in fluency positively impact comprehension by freeing up cognitive resources that can be devoted to understanding the text rather than decoding it. In this instance, Avery would spend less time decoding words each time she rereads the passage, thus being able to understand and actually hear herself reading the story. I have a video clip here for you during one of our sessions together to demonstrate her 4th time through of repeated reading. During this time, I was videotaping her so that she could hear herself reading to see if she was reading fluently instead of me or another teacher telling her if she was fluent or not.
Are you ready? Tell me when you're ready.
Okay. You use your eyes to see. Animals use their eyes to see too. Animals' eyes can be small or large. Some animals' eyes can look very strange. What animal has eyes that look like this? A spider does. It has 8 eyes that look like little dots. Most spiders can't see very clearly, but many spiders are very good at seeing things move. What animal has eyes that look like this? This owl does. Its eyes help. It sees well at night. An owl cannot move its eye. It must turn its head to look around. What animal has eyes that look like this? This kind of lizard does. Each eye can look in a different place. The left eye sees one thing. The right eye sees something else. Different at the same time. What animal has eyes that look like this? This dragonfly has eyes that are made up of many tiny eyes. Dragonflies are very good at seeing things new. Use your eyes to see all around animals' eyes around you.
Okay, now you're going to listen to yourself, and I want you to tell me if you feel like you were fluently reading or sometimes fluent, sometimes not with expression. Are you ready?
iRead is another program that I use during our time together in our sessions. iRead is an online program that helps students build their foundational skills in phonics and phonemic awareness. It is game-based and the kids absolutely love it. They actually fight for it in the classroom. The program assesses each student and sets a pace for them to learn and grow. I have also another video clip of Avery using the program to show you all what she does on it.
Watch as I blend this word, sound by sound. Now fast. Tip. Tip. The marker has a red tip. Click the arrow at the top to discover another meaning for this word. Tip. Whoa. Don't let the cups tip over. Study this word, then click the arrow for your next word. Blend this word with me, sound by sound. Now fast. Click Done to check your blending. Pit. A peach has a hard pit in the center. Study this word, then click the arrow for your next word. Blend this word on your own, sound by sound. Now fast. Click Done to see if you blended correctly. Tin. The box is made of tin. Study this word, then click the arrow for your next word. Blend this word on your own, sound by sound. Now fast. Click Done to see if you blended correctly. Sip. Trevor takes a sip of the milk. Click the arrow to continue. Word changer. Ready? Sound by sound. Now fast. Tin.
Blending wheels were something that we used together to help Avery work on her decoding skills. A blending wheel is a tool that students can use to help them practice decoding with a focus on phoneme building skills. Lane and Poland discussed blending wheels as that a wheel consists of 3 concentric circles held together with a brass fastener. Each circle has letters on it that are combined to form words. Each section of the wheel has a different blend, initial sound, vowel, and final consonants or sounds. A combination of real words and pseudo words are used in this wheel. Pseudo words are known to students as nonsense words. This is actually an example I have here of a blending wheel that Avery had used. As you can see, the smallest wheel that you see is actually the initial blend that she would be using. The middle wheel is a vowel pattern, and the largest wheel is actually the ending sound or blend. And we were working on long vowels and diphthongs in this wheel. Graphic organizers was a great way for Avery to work on her visuals of actually writing her plot. She's a visual learner, so it's a great way for her to see her thoughts before actually writing them on paper. The graphic organizers that I gave her to choose from allowed her to sequence out her thoughts as well as illustrate her ideas. These are 2 examples of ones that she had used. She really enjoyed being able to write her thoughts as well as illustrate them, kind of giving a picture to each sequence for beginning, middle, and end. This really helped her get a clear sense of what she wanted to write for her beginning, middle, and end. My post-assessment findings are going to be as followed. Avery was given the same assessments, again a check for her growth in all areas. Due to her growth in comprehension, Avery was given 2 fluency passages. When we first started our process together, Avery was an independent G and working upwards. We can't just stay at the same reading level. So due to her growth, she actually grew to an independent I in comprehension, and that's again with Fontes and Pinnell. And so I decided to give her 2 fluency passages. One which was the exact same as the pre-assessment, and another fluency passage that was with the independent eye reading level. These were some of the post-assessment findings. As you can see, her phonemic awareness still was strong, as well as her vocabulary and her comprehension. She rose 2 reading levels and is now at level I, which is beginning of 2nd grade. She is no longer in a 1st grade reading level. Her phonics also grew, as well as fluency in her writing. Her phonics, she did a great job. The only thing she had trouble with was actually, again, those diphthongs, and something that we're still going to continue to work on with OI, AW, and AU. And a few of the syllabicating words, they were just hard for her to decode. For example, the word antagonist. It took her a really long time to actually decode the word antagonist, so she couldn't give me the correct amount of syllables per. Her fluency, this is what I was talking about before, that she was given 2 fluency assessments. The first one was the same as the pre-assessment, which was on a level G, and she scored 100% on accuracy and fluency. I also did one on her current reading level, which was 95% on level I, which still meets our goal for the time together. Her writing skills again, she's able to give me great ideas. She's just such an imaginative child. And with the help of the organizer, she was able to give me a much clearer beginning, middle, and end, and did practice better with her capitalization and ending punctuation. Like I said before, all of her areas have grown in reading and writing. Her phonological awareness has grown and helped her decode things faster now that she is reading, and also helped with her fluency, which all in all helped with her reading comprehension. The organizers also showed growth for her writing and giving the clear beginning, middle, and end. My closing recommendations for Avery are hopefully going to continue with her as she grows in school and at home. For parents, I would love for her to continue with her phonics and decoding. Just continue practicing those blending wheels that we worked on together, as well as creating new ones. I sent home with Avery pre-made wheels, and all they have to do is write the new blends and vowel sounds on those wheels and work on them at home. For fluency, just having Avery reading aloud to parents at home or a sibling will really help with her expression. Even reading to Avery to give her the example of what it should sound like to be an expressive and fluent reader. Recording herself at home will also help Avery hear what she sounds like as a fluent reader. For her writing skills, just having Avery share different stories at the dinner table or just with you while you're going to bed, and even illustrating these ideas to give a clear illustration of a beginning, giving a clear illustration of a middle, as well as an end, can really help with her plot choices. For future teachers, continuing phonics with working with long vowel sounds, especially with the diphthongs such as OI, AW, AU, and AI, as well as continuing into different long vowel patterns such as long I with IGH, IE, and Y, and even long A with patterns such as EIGH, AY, EI, and EY. These are patterns that are very tricky for students to get, and we want them to master them so they're not having to spend as much time decoding these vowel patterns and more time actually reading. For fluency, just continue the repeated reading strategy, which again is reading a passage more times than once to get past the miscues. This can be done a passage for a whole week. This can be done a couple times on one passage during a day. And for writing skills, continue using graphic organizers during the pre-writing stage of the writing process. This is something that really will help Avery continue to grow in her writing, and the more she reads and the larger words and vocabulary she reads, the larger vocabulary and plots she'll be reading. It'll also go into her writing. I hope you enjoyed going through our case study. I know that Avery has made tremendous growth with our time together, and I look forward to seeing her continued growth in the future. Thank you.